You've likely heard it's lonely at the top. Heck, you've probably said it as a way of encouraging yourself or reminding yourself what reality is. And if you just heard that for the first time, it's lonely at the top, it probably immediately made sense and it's sitting with you and you can feel that. Today, we're going to reframe that so we think about it differently. And because it is lonely at the top, we're going to walk through how to build your leadership support network. Let's jump in right now. Welcome to the Leadwell podcast, where we give mission-driven leaders principled and practical advice so that you can do just that, lead well. I'm your host, John Kidwell. I get the pleasure of being here with you every single week as we talk leadership, we share tips, advice, answer your questions, and give some coaching. Let's not delay. Today is an important one. We're talking about building your leadership support network. It is critical. You feel it. It's lonely at the top. And y'all, I want to share with you what I figured out about that statement. It's lonely at the top. We say that as leaders, we hear that as leaders, and immediately we jump to, oh, that means I don't get any people. I don't get to talk to anybody. People that used to be my peers are no longer my peers. Because I am the leader, and if I'm thinking about it in terms of a pyramid, there's only one person at the top, and that's me, and it's lonely. But we take what might be a reality and we turn it into something that actually has to be true. And I'm telling you, it does not have to be true. It does not have to be lonely at the top for you in terms of people that you have that support you, that help you, that are your trusted advisors and confidants. In fact, because the responsibility that you carry is so great, it can't be just you. You need people to pour into you so that you can continue to pour out to other people. Yes, it is lonely at the top, but let me tell you what the truth of that statement is. It is not lonely because you don't get relationship. It's lonely because nobody understands the responsibility that you have like you do, and nobody ever will. So while it may become lonely because we don't pull people in and we don't build that leadership support network that we need to be able to lead at our best, the true loneliness is in understanding the weight of that responsibility. And because that is true, we actually need to work extra hard to bring people in. I just want to share with you quick about a time where I thought that I had to shoulder all of this at, myself, because you kind of look and you see leaders bootstrapping it and you see and hear it's lonely at the top way too often. And so we tell ourselves things like we don't get our people. And I did this as well. I'd have a problem that I was facing, and instead of going to the team or going to mentors and coaches and friends that could help advise and guide me, I just sit and think I got to figure this out all by myself. And we do the best that we can in that, but sometimes the stress and the pressure and the isolation, it weighs on us. And I found myself so lonely without anybody to talk to that I was really starting to atrophy, to wither. The stress and the pressure and the responsibility of it was crushing me. I got introduced to a book by Dr. John Townsend called People Fuel, and he talks about the nutrients, the relational nutrients that we need for life, leadership, for love. We're going to stay focused in on leadership, and he talks about growth teams, about life teams. We're going to focus in on that and build off of that into the leadership support network that you need, specifically 5 people that you need as a leader. As a leader, you need a coach, a mentor, a friend, a cheerleader, and a partner. When you are armed with those 5 people, those 5 relationships, you get the help. You have the trusted advisors. You have a group of people that can help hold you accountable, give you the encouragement that you need, and be there with you to help carry the load, the responsibility that you have as a leader. So never again will we use it's lonely at the top as a justification for not having relationships. Instead, we will know that it's about the responsibility that we carry. And because of that, we seek out relationships and we build our leadership support network. Before we dive into those 5 people that you need, I just want to talk quickly about how important and how valuable this is. We bake this into the programs that we do. When we come and work with your organization, with your team, we build in group coaching and that support network with a coach and with peers right into it so that your VPs, your key leaders, your directors immediately gain that peer support and start to build a cohort of folks that they can go to and trust, who they can collaborate with, who are going to work together. And beyond that, maybe you're the CEO and you're saying, I need that group. We have group coaching where we bring people together so that they can get that same level of support outside of their organization. I say this so that you know that it's there, but I also say it so that you know how critically important we believe this to be. You need your people so that you can lead your people. Let me say that again. You need your people so you can lead your people. Let's talk about the 5 people that you need as a leader: your coach, your mentor, your friend, your cheerleader, and your partner. First up, coach. A coach is someone who is devoted to you, specifically to your success. Everywhere else in life, you may be devoted to the success of others, to serving them. And in a coaching relationship, this is a subject matter expert, podcast coach, communication coach, relationship coach, health coach, life coach, personal trainer. This person is devoted to you, your goals, your success. They help hold you accountable to that. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to help with frameworks. They are there to help you specifically succeed. And you need a coach. Coaches specifically in executive leadership are going to help you gain self-awareness. How am I coming off in this specific scenario? They're going to help you where you may not have the accountability. You're a solo business owner. You might not have accountability. Or maybe you have a board that's hands off. You're a CEO and you don't get kind of that localized accountability like you really need. An engaged person that's there making sure that you are doing what you set out to do. A coach can do that and be that for you. They are there to help you identify growth areas, become aware of them, build a plan and a structure through frameworks to get to them and hold you accountable to it. As a leader, you need a coach so that you have someone that is there specifically devoted to you and your growth and your development and your success. So that's first one up, is you need a coach. Now, big old caveat, right? Everybody always asks, is this a coach that has to be paid for? No. It doesn't have to be, but they should have some coach training and the ability to be able to structure it so that it is specifically focused on you. All right, next up is a mentor. Now, what is the difference between a coach and a mentor? I would say that the largest difference between a coach and a mentor relationship is the coach relationship is more structured than the mentor relationship. The other thing that often happens in mentor relationships is that it starts to become a two-way street. And like we said before, that coach relationship is someone that's specifically devoted to serving you. It doesn't have to be reciprocal. But that mentor one usually kind of turns to that. So how do you pick a great mentor for yourself as a leader? Look at someone who is further ahead than you with how they are, their character, and with what they have achieved. So you're looking for someone that you want to be like them. You like the way that they lead. You like the way that they engage with people. And you also see that they have had some modicum of success. They have the character and the skills. You're looking for that in a mentor. Someone that can come along and give you advice. Someone that you can ask questions by taking them to coffee or lunch. And as we said, like a coach relationship, this is usually less structured. So a mentor is someone that's ahead of you. Well, does that mean that they're older than you? No, it doesn't mean that they're older than you. In fact, oftentimes it's a great thing when they're your same age, when they're younger than you. It's just how they are and what type of success achievement that they have. Let me give you 2 places where I have had mentoring specifically in my life. One is in a group mentoring setting. I've done this a couple of times. They're super powerful. And for me specifically, they have been cross-generational, meaning a bunch of young folks with a bunch of folks that have a little bit more life experience. Not old. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they have more life experience. But it was a bunch of guys in their 20s and 30s and a bunch of guys in their 50s and 60s. In one setting, we got together once a month on a Monday. We cooked dinner and we talked about life and business and leadership. It was awesome. And out of that kind of grew individual mentor-mentee relationships. Very, very similar, just a little bit more structured, if you will, kind of. But another place is group coaching, where we get together every Friday and we actually have someone speak. And then in a table, again, cross-generationally, we have some more tenured individuals and some of us that don't have as much tenure. And we talk about what was talked about. And then out of that kind of flows into the individual relationship. So you can get into some group mentoring spaces. Here also, we're talking about a mentor. And I have 2 gentlemen specifically that I call, that I go to ask them questions, to get their trusted counsel, to say, if you were in my same shoes, what would you do in this scenario? And I'll pick up the phone and I will talk to them. We will every now and then jump on a Zoom or go have coffee. So it's both kind of structured and informal. But the big key thing for that mentor is just you look at someone who and how they are and what they have achieved that you want to move into, and then reach out, set up that connection, start talking to them. It doesn't have to be as awkward as, I'm looking for a mentor and I'm just wondering if this would be something that you would do for, no, just, hey, I really value you and how you do things and where you are in life. Would it be okay if I take you out to lunch? Could I take you to coffee? Would it be okay if I call you sometimes? And if you're available, you answer some questions that I have, and let it grow from there. All right, so we've gone through 2 of the 5 people that you need as a leader: a coach, a mentor. Now let's talk about a friend. Yeah, that's right. Leaders need friends. And leaders need non-work friends. You need somebody that is not in that place where you are leading, where you are seen, where they're a colleague, where they are being paid by you, or whether they pay you. If they're a leader that's above you, right? And the leader of leaders type of thing. You need somebody that is a non-work friend, that y'all just enjoy each other, that you share hobbies, that you share life, that you can talk about those things. And I get it. As adults, it is so awkward and hard to find friends. I find that it's always like at the kiddos' soccer games and, there's another person there and you're like, kid play soccer, huh? Cool. We could probably be friends. I get it. It's super awkward. It's super hard. And it's super necessary. You need a friend, someone that you can talk to that is completely outside of that sphere of your leadership, where you can rely on them, where they can completely know you, where they can help hold you accountable, where you all can just talk about absolutely nothing related to work. You need someone outside of the sphere to help you so that you're stronger inside of your sphere of leadership. So you got your coach, your mentor, your friend, and let's face it, you need someone that just pumps you up and fills you with rocket fuel. You need a cheerleader. And that's the 4th person that you need as a leader, is a cheerleader. Someone that is just going to come in and encourage you, tell you you are doing a great job. You've got it. There has never been another leader like you in all the world. Someone that can just tell you all of the good things, celebrate all of the successes, because maybe you don't get to celebrate those out in front of other people. You just call this person, you're like, hey, I just had a big win today. Can you tell me how good of a job this was and that it's great to celebrate these things? Or maybe it's the reverse. You got to walk into a really hard situation and you just call this cheerleader and you're like, hey, here's what I need. I just need a little rocket fuel. I need you to pump up that adrenaline. Tell me I'm doing a good job. Tell me that I am courageous, that I can go do this thing. This is someone that's just pouring into you, right? Those are 4. This last one is the only one that I would tell you is specifically to the work that you do. Your coach, your mentor, your friend, your cheerleader, they can all be outside of the organization. They can all be outside of it. They don't have to be, except for that friend one. But this last one, this partner, every leader needs a partner. If we know that it's most naturally going to be lonely at the top, let's take somebody with us, right? If we know that, in all these places that we know problems exist as leaders, we build in structure, we build in support, we build in systems to avoid the problems. So let's do that too. As leaders, find a partner. The best partner for a leader is someone that is high trust. This has to be someone that you trust completely, because you're going to bring them in all the way to that inner circle of you and being able to talk about stuff, being able to be that person that can give you unfiltered feedback, that person that you don't have to show off for. And frankly, you don't have to show off for anybody, and you don't have to act like that in front of anybody, but I get that sometimes you feel that way. But this person is inside, they know you, they are for you, you all work well in tandem, and there's a high trust relationship. Second, they complement you. So not only do they trust you, but they help fill in a lot of the gaps that you have. And yes, you and I have gaps, and we need people to help fill those in. But specifically in work, we need that partner to help complement us. So they're the yin to your yang. If you are the visionary, perhaps they're the operator that can help execute on that. If you're the get your hands dirty type of person, maybe they're a little bit more strategic. If you are the one that is great at communication, they might be great at execution. If you, my friend, are a follow-through type of person and you just check all of those boxes, this person might be more open-ended, question asker, idea generator. Look for someone that complements you in your leadership style. Your partner is high trust, and they complement you so that you together, building that team, show up as the full circle, well-rounded, organization, team that is needed to be able to lead. And it starts with you having a partner. So those 5 relationships that you need as a leader to make sure that it is not lonely at the top in relationship is coach, mentor, friend, cheerleader, partner. And you're probably sitting there thinking, how do I get started? What do I do right now? Here's what you do. Pick up a piece of paper, write it out. Do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a friend? Do you have a cheerleader? Do you have a partner? If there's a gap, go fill the gap. If you're like folks that we do this in our trainings with, you probably have 4, at least 3, and truly maybe 5 gaps. Start with one and then move on to the next one. And just in case you're wondering, I have one person, can they fill all 5 roles? No, they may not. Start with one, keep on working to fill that team so that you have the leadership support network that you need so that you can continue to lead at your best, to carry that responsibility so that you can serve the team and lead them well. Hey, if you have questions about that, building your leadership support network, or about any of the programs that I talked about earlier, reach out to us. But if you have questions about it or implementing it and you want me to answer those at a podcast, please send them our way. Send any question that you have around leadership, work, team building to podcast@leadwell.com, or leave me a voicemail or text me at 832-895-1253. Speaking of questions, let's jump into our question time right now. Producer Matthew, what questions do we have today?
Yeah, John, we've got a few good ones. Our first one for you is going to be, how do you go about praising a team member in public, in front of others?
Yes, we should absolutely do that. Oh, how do you go about how do you go about praising a team member in public? Oh, let me count the ways, right? I mean, we could do it however we want to. You could bring them up on stage. You could, in just a team meeting, kind of informally, make a shout out. Hey, I could do it right here on the podcast. Matthew, you help organize this podcast and frankly, all of our work so well as our ops manager. I'm just so grateful for you because without you, we would be disorganized. So thank you. And hopefully you can receive that praise. Just do it. Now, let me also back up and say that not everybody loves to be praised in public, and you're probably also saying, well, what if it's always Matthew? What if it's always Susie? What if it's all right? So should we praise people in public? Absolutely. And do it with a heart that is absolutely for praise, and be specific. You will get more of what you praise, and especially what you praise publicly. It'll help everybody understand what the standard is and where we're going. And be listening and looking. If that's something that makes them uncomfortable, then find different ways to praise them. But by all means, right? In meetings, on bulletin boards, in team chats, in whatever it is, praise publicly and praise specifically, because it's fuel to that person and to the team. So, I think we could just keep going and probably spend way too much time actually putting out ways that we could praise, but do it often, do it specifically. Praise your people often, specifically, in public. And if you get that feedback, if you see and hear and listen that they don't want it, then change how you praise for that specific individual.
Great. Thank you. The video doesn't show me blushing, but I appreciate the praise.
Oh, you are most welcome. And I mean it in heartfelt sincerity.
Well, thank you. Now, we've talked about praising a leader's success. How does one measure their success as a leader?
Ooh, that's a very open-ended question. So let's boil it down, because success. I mean, we could go tons of different ways. How do you measure your success as a leader? How might somebody measure their success as a leader? Are you reproducing what you are intending to produce? Let me say that again. How do you measure your success as a leader? You are successful when you are reproducing what you intend to produce. What do I mean by? I mean, as leaders, our goal, our kind of drive, our definition is to influence the attitude, thoughts, behaviors of others toward a shared purpose. So, if I am working to influence through relationship, through motivation, through leading by example, the attitude, kind of how we approach work, the positivity that I'm coming with, the thoughts, how we make decisions, and the behaviors. This is how we carry out what we're going to do this work, to our mission, for our organization, specific to that. If I am reproducing those things, then I am being successful as a leader. Producing those will lead to the results that many of us might use to measure success, like gross revenue, net revenue, NPS scores, whatever it might be. But as a leader, I know that I am successful when I am reproducing what I intend to produce.
Reproducing what we intend to produce. Excellent.
All right. Do we have time for one more?
We do. And I think they really all do tie together.
Great. Let's have at it.
How do you, how does one and how do you keep projects and tasks on schedule?
Well, how does one and how does one? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, how do you keep projects and tasks on schedule? Man, so challenging. I said earlier that Matthew helps organize and this podcast and all those things. So remember what I said about a partner in this episode? You need a partner, someone that can help you do that. Maybe that's not your natural gifting as a leader. So bring in people to help you do that. No. All right. How do you keep projects and tasks on schedule as a leader? Set up the targets and the rhythms so that you can't help but fall into those, right? James Clear tells us that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. He put that in Atomic Habits, and it's so true. And we need to do that inside of our organizations as well. I've been in countless places, and I'm probably guilty of doing it as well, where we set up a goal, a target, a project, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, great. And then 6 months later, it's like, what y'all do on that? So back it up, and when you launch those things, set up, this is when we're going to meet, these are the milestones, these are the targets at these specific dates, and then ask about it in the team meeting. Just continue, just carry it forward. In the one-on-ones, bring it back up. How are we doing on this? How's this going? Just little notebook. Keep kind of managing those. Yeah, we can get into like Monday.coms or whatever that have bigger project management pieces, and that can be part of the system for sure. But it really just starts with, do I have the system to connect with my people, to keep this top of mind, to check out, are we where we need to be at a given time? And then we can continue to just walk into it, because what's in front of us, we usually remember, and then we keep going and doing. And so that was me thinking more like team. Individually, I think the daily planner, and we do and have one of those, and we teach one of those, where your big three every single day and what you're working on, and that could be something individually. But organizationally, just, do I have the meetings, the rhythms, the patterns, the systems that are going to help me continue to walk those out? Is one way that you can stay on schedule with tasks and projects. And because I need to stay on schedule with the ending of this podcast episode, we're going to call it there. But my friends, if nothing else from this episode, go out and get you some people. You need 5 people. Go find them. And once you find them, make sure that you use them so that you can continue to lead at your best. My friends, be well, lead on. God bless.